Welcome back to the channel. James Bond. I have almost all of the James Bond soundtracks bar one, but I've got that one on download, but we'll get to that a bit later. So let's jump right into it first of all with vinyl. I only have a few James Bond soundtracks on vinyl, but my James Bond soundtrack collection started with this one. I think either in 1977 or 1978 I got this for my birthday. It's a double album, and it had that's come loose, but it had loads of pictures and some stuff about John Barry there. But it was a double album. I'm surprised. Well, it's coming apart a bit, but I'm surprised this is in such good condition because I played this to absolute death. All original soundtrack recordings from Dr. No through From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah, that got me started on my James Bond soundtrack journey. Next up, in the early 80s, James Bond's greatest hits. It was a selection of the songs from Dr. No all the way up to For Your Eyes Only. So again, that was played to death, and again I'm surprised that's in such good condition. And then we have the only other LPs I have are these ones. We had Octopussy, we have A View to a Kill, and finally License to Kill. Michael Kamen's one go at doing a James Bond film. But yeah, that's all the vinyl. But let's get into the CDs. First of all, Monty Norman's Dr. No with the James Bond theme arranged by John Barry. I'm not going to go into the ongoing controversy over who wrote the James Bond theme. John Barry made it as great as it is. That's all I'll say. But again, I hate to use that word that David Pensack liked so much, but it's a peculiar score. It's not my favourite. It's not great, to tell you the truth. Thank God they got James Barry on this one. From Russia with Love. Lots of great stuff on that. This is where the real Bond sound came into being. And this introduced a secondary James Bond theme, the 007 theme. That one. But yeah, great, wonderful, sweeping themes, and the theme song sung by Matt Monro. Then we have this one, which for the longest time I thought was what Burman would call an import, doing fingers. But it's not. It's an official CD by Harkett Records, and now this does have the original recording of the main title that wasn't on that one. Slightly different. It's got kind of organ and kind of it's a bit more jazzy, but and it's got various other versions taken from other recordings of the main theme as well. But yeah, next up, what many people consider to be the maybe one of the greatest James Bond films of all time, Goldfinger. This is where everything came together. John Barry maybe wrote one of the greatest James Bond songs, sung by Shirley Bassey. That was the original CD release. There wasn't a huge amount of music on that, not even a listing on it. Is there a listing at all on this? No. Look at that. Nothing in the inlay card. The tracks are only on the CD itself. But luckily, in I think it was 2003. Was it 2003? Yep, 2003. We got an expanded Goldfinger. Now it has the original program of music, and all the extra stuff is just tacked on at the end. I like the fact there's extra stuff, but it's not the greatest thing that it's just tacked on at the end. It'd be nice if they'd rearranged it, but I don't know if it was a contractual thing. But anyway, it's an expanded score, so yay! Next up, Thunderball. That was the first James Bond film I ever saw. It must have been about 1977 that I saw this, and I was hooked on James Bond. But yeah, then we got, along with those 2003 expansions, an expanded Thunderball. Again, they didn't organise it into a full program. It was just the original album, and then all the extra stuff in kind of huge kind of suites just tacked on at the end. But again, it's extra stuff. Next up, one of my favourite, as a kid, this was one of my favourite James Bond films, but it's also one of my favourite James Bond scores as well. Beautiful, beautiful theme, sung by Nancy Sinatra. Again, this is an expanded version, again with all the extra stuff tacked on at the end. What I do like about these 2003 ones is we get the gun barrel sequence on all these. I love that. It changed every film. Different orchestrations, different use of instruments, and but they would, for some reason, they weren't on the original releases, but on the expanded ones we get them. Then possibly the greatest James Bond score of all time. We have On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Again, expanded version. Again, same thing again. The original soundtrack album, and then with all the extra stuff tagged on at the end. But what I think David Arnold calls the main theme to, he calls it a killer tune, and it is. It's just brilliant, brilliant. First time since Doctor No that the main title was an instrumental. But yeah, loads of great stuff on there. Then Sean Connery came back after George Lazenby's one go at playing James Bond, but did very well, I thought. Came back for a slightly lighter Diamonds Are Forever, but great score. Shirley Bassey was back. Again, that's expanded. Gun barrel on that's great. Next up, Live and Let Die. Music score by George Martin. Paul McCartney and Wings did the theme song. I really like this. This is a really good score. I like what George Martin did. It sounds great. Then we get the expanded version of that. Same again, just the extra stuff tagged on afterwards. But extra stuff. Man with the Golden Gun. We don't get an expanded version of that for some reason. Don't know why. But yeah, I like that. The film's all right. It's not great. It does have a good car chase in it. But the main title theme by Lulu gets slammed a bit. But I kind of like it. It's cool. Next up with Spy Who Loved Me. This was one of the most successful James Bond films at the time. Marvin Hamlish. Very much of its time, but there's some good stuff on there. Bond 77, kind of Bond Goes Disco. Great theme tune, nobody does it better, Carly Simon. But yeah, good stuff. Moonraker. Lovely, lovely score. This was where he was going into his more languid phase of composing. John Barry this is. And it includes one of the most majestic James Bond tracks of all time, Flight into Space. 6 minutes of just wonderful, beautiful music. And the last appearance of the 007 theme, that adventure theme that he wrote for the boat chase, and it's a marvellous version of that as well. Next we have Bill Conti and his poppy, brassy, great fun score. Again, this is the expanded one, so lots of good stuff on there. Yeah. Next up, John Barry comes back for Octopussy. Yeah, solid score. And Roger Moore's final James Bond film, A View to a Kill. This isn't expanded. Oh, HMV, £6. Look at that. You see that? Yeah, but there were bits of this missing that cropped up in another CD. There was a kind of a fanfare-ish presentation of the main theme where James Bond carries the girl down a fire ladder, and it was kind of a heroic version of the theme, but that wasn't on here. I was always disappointed but it appeared on something else. We'll get to that. That stack's getting a bit high, so let's move that out of the way. Next up, we have John Barry's final James Bond score, The Living Daylights, and what a score it was as well. Great theme by Aha, which apparently John Barry didn't get on with. Yeah, some great stuff on there. It was using kind of poppy synth stuff, but it works. There's the standout track on this, always has been for me, is Hercules Takes Off, which is a kind of an upbeat version, instrumental version of the main theme, and some beautiful stuff on there as well. Pretenders do a song on there as well, If There Was a Man. Yeah, great stuff. Then same as the LP, it's just the same program on a CD by Michael Kamen and some songs. Yeah, solid score. GoldenEye, great film. I love Pierce Brosnan as James Bond, but this score by Eric Serra, shocking, positively shocking. That's just my taste, though. I don't like it. If you there's a track called A Pleasant Drive in St. Petersburg, which was the original music for the tank chase, which is just so it was replaced by a more Bondian version by a different composer, which I can't remember at the moment, but it's on one of the other CDs, so I'll tell you shortly. Next up, the saviour of the James Bond score, David Arnold, came in to score Tomorrow Never Dies. What a brilliant choice he was as well. He knew what James Bond sounded like. And this also has one of the greatest James Bond songs that was pushed to the end of the film. K.D. Lang and Surrender. It should have been the main title song, but instead we got that song, whatever. That's the expanded version of the score. For some reason, well, I know what the reason was. They put this together before they'd finished recording all the music, I think. Something along that line. So that's got all the music on it. That wasn't a very good reason. Anyway, next up, David Arnold again. World Is Not Enough. Great score. Main title song by Garbage. Still haven't got the film version of the main title song. And there was also Only Myself to Blame, a song performed by Scott Walker, which is kind of jazzy and nice. Then we have the La La Land expanded 2-disc presentation of The World Is Not Enough. It's a great score, but David Arnold was starting to go kind of experiment with kind of drums and bass and stuff, and it was just about under control here. Then it kind of went a bit overboard with Die Another Day. There's some good stuff in there, but I do like it, but some of the techno stuff and it's not really my taste. But yeah, but I liked it enough to get the 2-disc one. So then David Arnold came in for Daniel Craig's first one. Back to basics with Casino Royale. Great score, great main theme, great song that he wrote, but the song isn't on there for some reason. I don't know why they start. It's licensing and all this kind of thing, but you know, it's a James Bond song. Put it on the soundtrack. Yeah, great film as well. Quantum of Solace, I had a bit of a troubled history. It's an okay film. The score's good. The main title song, Another Way to Die by Jack White and Alicia Keys, I think is awful. I mean, why didn't they just let David Arnold write the song or write the music and get somebody to write words? I don't know. We can't have it all. Then the most successful James Bond film of recent times. It made over $1 billion. Skyfall. This was the 50th anniversary. Yeah. Yeah, it's a solid score, but it's it just doesn't sound like James Bond. There's a few bits and bobs here and there that have that Bond sound, but yeah, bit disappointed in that one. Then we have Spectre. Again, we have the situation here that Adele's song isn't on this, and is Sam Smith's song on this? No, it's not. There's an instrumental version of it for a love scene in the middle of the film, but why are the songs missing from these? And that's just a meh score. And then finally, we have No Time to Die by Hans Zimmer. There's some decent stuff on this, and there's some Bondian sounding stuff. I prefer it to Thomas Newman. I think Thomas Newman's a great composer, but just doesn't do it for me score wise. But yeah, this does include Billie Eilish's song, which I hated when I first heard it, but it kind of grew on me a bit, and it works in context with the film. Context is everything. So yeah, there's a little booklet in there. We're just listing about the 4,000 musicians that were involved. But yeah, so that's all 25 official James Bond films. Then we have some random ones. Best of James Bond, that's the 30th anniversary collection. That goes, they're all over the place in the order of this. It begins with the James Bond theme, obviously from Dr. No, but it ends with Diamonds Are Forever. And in between, it's got The Man with the Golden Gun, Octopussy. They're all over the place, but they're there, so I suppose that's good. Next up is another compilation. This went from Dr. No to Die Another Day, Madonna's song. Call it a song? I don't know. But this had You Know My Name by Chris Cornell, the theme tune to Casino Royale, which is a great song. There's also a DVD on here, I've just noticed. It's got videos of View to a Kill, For Your Eyes Only, GoldenEye, Living Daylights, All Time High, and it's got a documentary about the music of 007, which probably came from one of the DVDs. But yeah. Then another compilation CD, which goes up to Tomorrow Never Dies. It's got the usual suspects on there, this time in the right order. Next up, the David Arnold James Bond project. Shaken and Stirred. It's interesting. There's some great stuff on here. Diamonds Are Forever featuring David McCallum. Nobody Does It Better by Amy Mann. Space Marsh, Left Field. All Time High from Pulp, which is quite interesting. Thunderball with Martin Fry, that was very good. On Her Majesty's Secret Service featuring the Propeller Heads. That's an epic track, as they say on the radio. And we have All the Time in the World featuring Iggy Pop, which is quite cool as well. Now we have the two City of Prague re-recordings of score tracks. Bond Back in Action and Bond Back in Action 2. Now, Bond Back in Action 2 has the film version of Tank Drive Around St. Petersburg, adapted by John Altman. That's who I was trying to remember. So there we go, we've got that. But again, this covers everything up to Diamonds Are Forever. Has some interesting stuff on there. And this covers from The Man with the Golden Gun up to GoldenEye. And it has that View to a Kill fanfare piece of music that wasn't on the original soundtrack. So that's good. And it also has some tracks from Moonraker, like the freefall sequence at the beginning. Octopussy. It's yeah, great stuff. Now we have some CD singles here. Now that's Propeller Heads, various versions of On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Now we have Diamonds Are Forever, David McCallum featuring David Arnold. That's another CD single from that from the David Arnold project, James Bond project. That also includes a meaty version of the James Bond theme, so that's worth finding out. I don't know why I got this. Garbage, The World Is Not Enough single. Don't know why I bought that, unless somebody gave it to me. Anyway, now we have Casino Royale, the 1967 mad as a box of dead badges that aren't dead in a bag inside another bag of live badges. Two versions of it. One is a 2-disc version and one is a 1-disc version. They're both quartet. So I think the 1-disc one is the 50th anniversary, the 2-disc is the 45th. I think it's slightly better sound quality, obviously 5 years and technology moves on a bit. But I watch Casino Royale, I enjoy it. It's dumb and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and it looks like they make it up as they go along, but it's a fun film. And the music by Burt Bacharach is it's great. And Herb Alpert and his Tijuana Brass do the theme tune to it. So yeah, I've been collecting Bond films ever since they came out on home media. So I started on videos, they've all gone now. Then I got the DVDs, that's some of them. There are others in boxes elsewhere. Then they came out in Blu-ray and tons of extras on them. That was some of those. And then there was a box set that came out, which was awesome. And that had everything up to Casino Royale. And there was a space for Skyfall in there. Then the more recent Daniel Craig ones have come out on 4K, and they look absolutely superb on 4K as well. That was very divisive. I didn't know what to I mean, I loved it up until that ending, but I came round to it. You know, it's just 5 films. It's a story. James Bond will return. I don't know how they're going to do it, but James Bond will return. That's all you need to know. And finally, we got the Mad film and the Black Sheep of the Family. Sean Connery and Never Say Never Again. Some good stuff in there, and Sean Connery is great as James Bond. It's a bit of a mess. The score by Michel Legrand had its moments, but that's the score that I've got on download. I don't have the CD for it. But yeah, that's all my James Bond stuff, I think. I was going to do something with a bag of pasta, but I didn't. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm just keeping the British end up. And until next time, good day.